Hello there, welcome to my 2021 channel recap. At the very end of 2020, I started a series where I was merging an entire village into one big building. And started that series, and then New Year happened and carried on. I did this in survival mode, so it was a lot of fun. The challenge was there, challenge accepted. One of the things I liked about this project is the fact that this village was not on level ground. This village was scattered across a hill and ups and downs, and I definitely had my ups and downs. And it was fun to try and figure out how I'm going to connect the buildings, which I did. The creative juices were flowing to make this build work, and that's right up my alley. I would rate the size of this village to be above average. It was a decent sized village. As far as I could, I mimicked the original build style with all my connecting extensions. In retrospect, looking at these thumbnails, I was very generous with trying to fit the whole story into one little thumbnail. It was a learning curve. And as learning curves go, I think over the last 12 months I've toned down a lot on my busy thumbnails. Another retrospect opinion is that the thumbnails all have the same words. It doesn't tell me exactly what is the content of that video. They'll say the same thing. In this little picture, there's a little arrow, so okay, something happened there. It's really not very attractive, but that's how we grow. New channel thing, I can't believe I had 10 views on these videos because I'm getting bored scrolling through it. Something worked, but I could have done a lot better. I think I had this essence of this project in my mind and heart, and I felt it. But I didn't express it in a way that's enticing, that draws the viewer in. Everything there, I know, there's this and this and that. But I didn't reflect it on the thumbnail or titles. I believe it was because I was on such a roll, just putting out video after video after video, that I didn't care much about the important details. I will label this an oversight from my side. I did discover a wall method that really works for me. It is of such matter that the mobs on the outside, the top of their heads are sticking out. So you can swat them left, right and center until they go red. Then I found a dog, ended the series and left happily ever after. No, well, not really. My objective was to mend a village into one building, and I did that, so there was nothing else to do. I then started the series A to Z of all the elements of Minecraft, with like a little bit of research and sharing as much information as possible about certain aspects. So, got acacia there. I have abandoned mine shafts, abandoned villages information, and also achievements, which are now more achievements than they were then with the new 1.18 release. I started more of that craft survival series, and I also alternated that with the A to Z of Minecraft. One of the reasons for the A to Z series was that I wanted to know more about Minecraft. I wanted to know everything about it. And if I'm going to be learning, why not record and share it with viewers so other people can learn with me? Which was very interesting indeed, must admit. But I soon got bored with that, and I started a series with medieval builds inspired by a really impressive medieval village where Kirolus paid a visit. If you know what I'm talking about, and you can find that video, it's worth watching. Anyway, so with great inspiration and big plans, I started a medieval world. And I started with this monstrosity of a base. As a very commonly used method, I outlined the whole thing in dirt to get the shape and then started filling it in. This series, by the way, was in creative mode. I know how to go and get the stuff. I just wanted to build. So, from series to series, disappointingly, you can barely see the difference of the episodes if you look at these two photos. But so much happened on the inside of it, and so many details and things that, it's hard to show them all on one thumbnail. Every so often, I would hide the highlight of the build, like in this thumbnail. I would put something to mask the whole picture, because the really good things, you need to watch it happen. If I just give you the answer on a thumbnail, why are you going to go watch? It's like spoiler alert. Some of these things you just had to see for yourself as they were getting built. One trend of mine that you will pick up through all series is the use of color. And it's got nothing to do with any rainbow thing. It's just like, I truly love holographic colors, or the way it reflects. And since you don't have that in Minecraft, closest to that is enchanted things. So I have to manually add the colors myself. No problem, man. No problem. The videos of this specific build were like 1 hour recordings that I trimmed down and published. In latter days, I tend to rather do a whole lot of building and trim that down. But in this case, for this building, it was like, I take you on a journey with me. As it grew, it started to look better and better, and obviously hide it because something is good. And these were in the final stages of this build, and I was happy with how it turned out. So time to move on. Jettying buildings. That looks like a little face, doesn't it? The brown blocks on the corners of the bottom building makes it look like it's too narrow at the bottom, but actually it's wider. So jettying is the Tudor terminology for extending the second level, because back in the day they only had so much land and can afford only that, and they built up and out so they have more room. My village started to grow and evolve. With that, I needed to build roads. So I just shared building roads, how I build roads. Different types of roads. Paths, can I say. As much as I tried to stick to the medieval and Tudor build styles, as you can see there, I got carried away and I ended up occasionally doing my own thing anyway. But I reverted back. That is quite nice, and I think I should use banners more often. These are things that I've learned and they worked, and I forgot about it, and it's good to review previous works. So there were a lot of things, specific shops. Like you saw, there was the leather shop, there's a furnace shop. Furnace shop only, with that came a lot of information about furnaces. Purple House, that was just flexing. And then we've got the Warp Shop and the Crimson Forest, which is like little replicas of the actual Warp biome and Crimson Forest biomes, just in a building. And once again, I may have strayed away from the intended Tudor medieval build. And there we have a basic fishing lodge. It's got a fishing area and fishing equipment. It's got accommodation and there is a restaurant. Obviously serves a lot of fish. Then the season ended. I did a summary tour because I got tired of trying to stick to Tudor and medieval builds. My creativity wanted to explore more. And that inspired the birth of season 2, which would be of no particular style, but build as I please. So, wise me built a chapel, didn't like it, made a video on how to improve on the chapel, and then decorated it. Built a basalt bridge. Doesn't really matter if it's basalt or not, but I guess I just wanted to use the word basalt to indicate that I've used this new block. And then there was a basalt and deep slate shop with all the new cool blocks in. And sadly, I decided to build a cemetery because of the pandemic and lost 2 people. That made me cry a lot. I also had to say goodbye to a cat due to her old age. And she's not in this picture, but here it is. Rest in peace, sweet little Annie. Back to building. I could now do modern builds because I'm not stuck in the era anymore. Freedom! So I did some modern accommodation and some terraform. It's like terraforming, but you form. And I made an advertisement for somebody. So that one you can see it is unlisted. So it's not open to public. And then I started the color build. I wanted to build all materials of the same color in a room. And I did. Then the community guidelines got, on the rules in general, got tightened up a lot by YouTube. So I just made a very boring Siri voice, terms and conditions videos, which I unlisted too because they were just so boring. So the colorfulness is the continuation of that color build. And I think then I had a good dose of color therapy and I wanted to go and build something that blends in. So I built a mansion in the mountains, which is not very visible from the outside, but it was a whole lot of fun building on the inside and it turned out pretty well. I'm a big fan of the richness of the acacia wood color. We had a Heritage Day, so I decided to make a little Heritage Day video, and it was Christopher Reeve Tribute Day. I made a big Superman badge in my mountain mansion and gave history about Christopher Reeve life, education. And then I started with my water level, almost at sea level, water level bridge and road. Straight, flat, tunneling, everything. I then made a cobblestone house because I think the cobblestone is underrated as a building stone and the ultimate oak house. No, you just gotta go and watch that to see what is the ultimate oak house. I grew the house. And then glass. I do like glass a lot. And I remember when I first had to Google how to build a nether portal, and I thought, let me just do a favor for all the other people who are new, because we do want to encourage new players how to make a nether portal. And it was football season. I'm myself not a great football fan, confess, but it was a lot of fun to build the football field and stadium. There's so many types of football that I just called it soccer, because you don't easily misunderstand soccer for any other type of football. And as you see there, it turned out pretty nice. It's full house with change houses and accommodation and security systems. I then decided to take a little break from the stadium, and I played a little bit of one block, sky block, which was fun, but eventually, you know what, you work and you get the digging elf, which is pretty useless, so I played 2 games and that's about it. Back to the stadium, it got finished. Then Halloween came around. Build a big pumpkin and the creeper on the forehead is perfect. It looks like a worm sticking out of its head. I built the giant mountain base in color because here the color craving struck again. And the building makes no sense at all. And it's okay. Back to normal life, I built a water reservoir closer to reality. And I had to share my bone meal farm that doesn't need any redstone. Very simple. It's not fast, but it's simple. And I shared a recipe from somebody else on making a super easy iron farm. And then my personal favorite that I do use a lot is my easy auto smelter system. Because when I play survival, I just want to load the box and go and come back and it is smelted or cooked. With all the excitement of the Caves and Cliffs update 1.18, I couldn't help myself. I just had to share some update information. In between that, I started a massive glass city, which I did not finish for reasons I'll explain soon. So I think I got a bit tired of work things in life and I decided to run away for 1 hour. I ran in a straight line for 1 hour and I found some cool things. It was in a different world, so I didn't have to go back. But I did. So the glass city, very impressive. You can't really see it on the thumbnail, but it was cool in Christmas time come and it is Christmas tree time. Yay! Make a Christmas tree. Caves and Cliffs. I found a big cave in my world, but because it was generated in the current world, it had a flat roof, a ceiling. So that's about where I ended there. I made it white just because I could. It looked cool. Cozy hillside cabin. I was inspired by a hobbit hole built into a hill and I made a similar thing because it looked like fun. Then I started a new season because I couldn't fully experience the caves and cliffs with flat ceilings now, can I? And I decided to do it in survival with split control on. And I sucked. To my amusement, I couldn't help but laugh at myself and my own stupidity. Better play it with split control off, with the big circle on the screen if you do it on PE because you can fight better then. I didn't do that. And I switched to my way. Creative. Yes. Because it is relaxing for me to build things. I don't feel like fighting mobs and monsters all the time. So I started this palace. I think it's a palace. You call it what you want, but it is a big build. It's not a mega build, but it is a pretty big build. And it took a couple of days to build, but I think it came out looking very, very cool. And who can not mention that a part of this year was the year where on the 15th of December, YouTube had 1 trillion views on Minecraft videos. We play only the best. Okay, so Palace needed a wall outside, a boundary wall. Can't have too much protection now, can you? Since I left my Christmas tree in the other series, I had to decorate the courtyard and make it all Christmassy. Oh, look at how nice that is in sunset. And just for fun, I went to Dazzle the Ender Dragon on Wussy mode, just because I could. Once again found no end city, no ship. Built a few bridges and roads, because most palaces have villages around them, cities. In preparation for New Year, I decided to show all the people who don't know how to make it, how to build a very easy chicken-powered rocket launcher. Yes, let the chicken shoot fireworks for you. And that's the wrap up to 30 December 2021. Great things ahead early 2022. I'll be joining an SMP server. I was invited and I'm very grateful, and I'll be playing with Kadoshi crafters, consisting of content creators and streamers. I'm so excited, I can't wait. I've been More of That, signing out, wishing everybody a brilliant new year. Blessings, stay safe.